So you've just sold your home and you're waiting for your money to come in. Hi, I'm Ryan Shields with Century21Westman.com, and I'm joined today by Derrick Stewart of Johnston and Company, and we're going to talk about the 3 ways the banks will release your funds upon a completed mortgage. So Derrick, I get this question a few times actually, is how long do I have to wait for my money to come in? I'm waiting to buy a new house or just need to get the equity out of it. How does that all transpire? How does the bank determine when the money is released?
Basically, the biggest determinant of when we're going to have money for a seller, from the buyer to a seller, is based on one of these 3 options. These are the way that the bank will allow money to be released, and they will know that they have good security in the property that they're mortgaging. The gold standard is a survey. So a survey, the land surveyors go out and measure the lot corners, measure the location of any buildings on the property, send us essentially a little map of the property that shows where everything is, and we know for a fact that the house is located within the lot and everything's good. We then send that to the city of Brandon for a zoning memo, and they say, yeah, as far as we're concerned, this complies with all of our zoning requirements, and the bank knows they've got a good property. Now, that's also the most expensive option, the most time consuming. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get the whole process done. And then when we do it this way, we have to wait for the mortgage to actually be finished being registered in the land titles office before we can release funds. Right now in Brandon's land titles office, that's running us about 2 weeks, which is pretty standard. So the seller is without their money for 2 weeks. Okay. Now they're without their money, but the buyer still is responsible for paying interest to the seller at the rate of their new mortgage from possession date to the date that we can actually get them the funds. So they're waiting for money, but they're not losing out. And from the buyer's perspective, they're not getting double dinged for interest because they're not paying interest on the bank funds until we actually get them. So it's kind of a wash, but that's where we're at. Second option is title insurance. Now, some people get confused because they think, oh, well, I've already got my insurance in place. They're thinking fire insurance. This is title insurance, protects against things that would have been found had they got a new survey. There are some other things that it covers kind of on the sidelines, but what it's meant to cover is the bank and the location of the building and any of those issues that should have been discovered with a survey and a new zoning memorandum. Both of those options protect both you as the buyer and the bank. The third option is called the protocol. The protocol is a service provided by the 4 Western Law Societies, so BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. It's free to the buyer, but it only protects the bank. So essentially, the bank or the Law Society provides the bank with some assurance that as far as we know, there's no problems with this property, and should they suffer any harm, they're going to be protected. But you as a buyer, if your house isn't where it's supposed to be, and your property is worth less as a result, you have no protection under the protocol.
Okay, so as a buyer coming in, or I guess as a seller, do you have a say on what option is used? Is there a different way you can recommend or ask for one?
The bank will tell us what options are available to us. Generally on a real estate deal, a resale real estate deal, so a house that's already been lived in for a while, they're all available to us. The protocol is not available on any deal where there's more than 4 residential units involved. So if it was a 6-plex, we couldn't use the protocol. It's not available on new construction. It's not available on farmland. So anything that you're mostly going to be dealing with Ryan on for real estate stuff will be good for us, unless it's new construction. The other 2 options are good for anything.
Okay, perfect. So they are very confusing topics. I know for me personally, it takes me a little bit to get my head wrapped around the 3 different options. If you have any questions about the survey, the title insurance, or closing on protocol, feel free to give Derrick a call at Johnston and Company, or for all your real estate needs, feel free to give me a call, Ryan Shields at Century21Westman.com. Thanks for coming in, Derrick.
Thanks, Ryan.